Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Marvel Knights Wave, the Mindless One Build-A-Figure. Here we have the GamerVerse Midnight Suns Iron Man. So this is the final figure in the wave for me to review. Before we get to the Build-A-Figure itself, he does come with one of the legs for the Mindless One. He comes with an extra set of hands, and he has the two blast effect pieces that will port into those open hands and then probably on the bottom of the feet. This one is an odd one out of the wave because it's a GamerVerse figure. It's not a comic figure like the others. But it's for the Midnight Suns game, which I think at this point is about a year old or a little over a year old or almost a year old. And I don't know, was the game really good? I didn't play it. I can't say for sure. I didn't see a whole lot of people playing it. I think X-Man, he played it, and I think he loved it. But beyond that, I didn't see anybody post about it or anything, so I don't know how the game was. I don't think Iron Man was the main character in there. This was a very easy figure for them to do because it's got some new pieces to it, but it's essentially the GamerVerse Iron Man figure from the Avengers game, which, fun fact, we actually got 3 Iron Man figures from that video game, which really did not do well. And yeah, so they get to reuse a lot of the parts from these Iron Man figures. Each one of these are a little bit different in its own way. I guess these ones are about the same. But they get to reuse parts to make that Iron Man. But again, there is some new to it. The black and gold does look really good. I will admit that. It's got this cool little print on there that we will see in the close-ups. But, you know, just, again, kind of an odd one based off the game. You know, I don't know how well received the game was. But anyway, you can see the GamerVerse packaging. It kind of goes back to white like we had seen in the past. We get the Midnight Suns logo up there. We got, I guess, Midnight Suns. Is that the... Yeah, that's the logo from the center there. Artwork of Iron Man looking really cool there because as you can see there, it's got like runes going around, and then you could see the pattern like in the faceplate and on the chest, the torso piece. All that is there on the figure, which is really, really cool. I will admit that. Looking at the back of the package again, we have now looked. This is the final one to look at all the figures in the wave. Then we'll take a look at the Mindless One Build-A-Figure. The bio for Iron Man reads, after a deadly bomb blast, millionaire playboy genius Tony Stark perfects a high-tech suit of armor and decides to use his technology and privilege to reshape the world. That's the most generic bio for Iron Man that you can provide, whether it's comic book, movie, or anything. Like it all fits and ties together. I would have liked something to go along with the game, but no, sadly we didn't. So anyway, let's get right into it, and let's get this thing out of the package. Before I get to that, before I forget, this Marvel Knights wave and the upcoming Void Build-A-Figure wave, these two waves are not going to be available at regular retail. So your best bet is to get orders in online somewhere, or check with your local comic shops, specialty shops, or GameStop to see if they're going to have these figures in stock. Amazon started to ship out. Big Bad Toy Store started to ship out. So just a heads up, no big box retail. So no Target, no Walmart. You will not see these there. So just a heads up on that. Online is your best bet if this wave or these figures are something that you want to add to your collection. So just a heads up on that. Now, let's get to the Iron Man. Okay, so here is the Iron Man figure out of the package. And even though they reused the parts from the Avengers game, it's a close enough match. I mean, again, I don't know like who's played the game that is really looking closely at some of those details in some of the areas. Like this round gold spot, like it should be a larger spot. Again, I think it's close enough. It's clever reuse that people probably wouldn't recognize right off the bat that we don't get a lot of new. The new spot, the new stuff is where it matters, right? I'd have to double check the head sculpt. The head sculpt could be reused. It could be new. It is different from the Avengers game. Head sculpts, the helmet, so that is something. But the torso was the important place for there to be something new, and they gave it to us, so that is good. We do get the nice hands that do have the hinge, so you can actually put these blasts in there, and then you can have them straight out or however you want to do it, which is great. Those just port right on into the hands. Of course, they are the same blast effects we've seen for years, just in a red color. We got the fists and then the hands there. We get the leg. I don't know which leg this is. This is the right leg because it has an R on it. The right leg to the Mindless One Build-A-Figure. We're almost there. That's going to be in the next video, so I'll just place that off to the side. And here we have the Iron Man figure. Again, black and gold looks really good. No complaints there. It's just the choice for the game. I guess they have to throw in an Iron Man in hopes that the wave would sell. And they went with something to kind of fit a darker theme. Midnight Suns game. Boom, make it easy. I guess. I don't know. I still think it's a bit odd to me that, you know, we don't get more like Spider-Man characters from the Spider-Man game franchise, because those games have done very, very well, whereas the Avengers game did not. Midnight Suns, I truly don't know enough whether that game was considered a success or not. So I don't know. You guys, if you guys know that, you guys let me know in the comments below. But let's get in for a closer look at the Iron Man, because again, some really good stuff in here. Okay, so here's an up close look at the Iron Man figure, and again, the little printed on patterns that you see here, like on the chest, look really good. Here on the left side too, and then on that faceplate of that helmet, looks really, really good. I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to represent, or if it has something to do with magic in the game, or how that works. But it looks really, really nice. It's all done, applied very cleanly. It's subtle on there. It doesn't just like stand out in front of you, but looks really good. We got like runes around here, around the center chest plate piece. It's just done in a bright yellow to kind of give it a bright, very bright effect. You know, the blue would clash with the whole black and gold theme here. But it looks like those runes are actually sculpted in there. So it's not just paint. Those are actually sculpted in there and then the paint applied. So again, completely new torso there. I want to say new head sculpt, but I could be wrong. It's just this part here is standing out to me, and I feel like it's probably new, but you know, I could be wrong. There. And then it looks like the shoulder pad pieces, those are different from the GamerVerse version as well. So you can see it's a little bit more squared off. So new torso, upper torso. Lower torso is actually the same as the previous GamerVerse Iron Man. So upper torso new. I think maybe head sculpt new, but those shoulder pads there are new. Yeah, the feet, as you can see, the feet, the legs, they are all the same. But you know, the paint that's there is applied cleanly. I have no issues with the paint on mine, nothing like that. All looks pretty good. The black and gold looks really nice together. I do like it. We have pins since it's reused at the time. There were no pinless at the time of the GamerVerse, but looks really good. Again, the standout highlight is, you know, the printed on design there on the chest and on the helmet. Came out really good. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the articulation. Okay, so Iron Man, so let's take a look at his articulation. The head is on a disc hinge, so he can look all the way up, so getting into flight poses, you can do that, which is good. He can look down that much there. The neck is a little stiff, so just be aware of that. You get a full rotation in there. You can't really do any pivot, unfortunately. The arms, the shoulder pads can kind of go up, so if you want to get those arms out, the shoulder pads will move up and kind of go onto the shoulder a little bit to get that arm out. But even still, I am definitely having some trouble getting that shoulder to get out a little bit more than that. So unfortunately, that's all you're going to get it to go out. That's pretty limiting. That's a little unfortunate. I feel like that one can go out a little bit more. But that's not enough. We should be able to get full, you know, full hinge to do a T-pose, or close to it. Full rotation there. Upper bicep swivel on that arm. Double jointed elbow gives you a little bit more than 90 degree there. Again, there are pins because this is reused. It misses a little bit of the gold, which does suck, in like on the upper part and then here on the forearm. But the inside matches fairly well, but you know, still sucks. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on the open hands with the blast for the blast effect, as well as the fists. We have an ab crunch on this guy. So Iron Man, who limited ab crunch, holy moly. That's forward on the ab crunch. So yeah, we get a new ab crunch, but then the design, it's a little bit bulkier. It just hits like that's it. So when we want to compare to oh, you know what? The previous one sucked too. Shit. Yeah, that's forward. So it actually moves more. Damn. How about that, huh? The other version had even more though. So you see evolution. We started off bad, we got better, and then we went backwards, but still better than the original. But that is not a lot on that ab. Now it's also a dude in a big ass metal suit. Is he really going to be able to crunch forwards a whole lot? No, unlikely, but in certain dynamic poses, you're going to want more, flexibility and movement. Going back, I think that works well. We do have a waist swivel on this guy because it went with the ab crunch as opposed to a diaphragm cut like the MCU Iron Mans do. Legs go out that far apart. He can't kick forward only that far. The leg does go back slightly there. You got an upper thigh cut in there. It's a little stiff. Be careful. Double jointed knee. It does have pins. You can see we missed some gold there, missed some gold on the inside there, so only that one is all black, so it works out. But that much bend there at the leg. There is no calf swivel or anything like that. Is there a swivel? There is a ball joint in there, but it doesn't look like the ankle itself swivel, so I don't think it's a separate ball joint. It looks like it's actually part of the sculpt. Sometimes there's a separate ball joint for the ankle in there that provides a swivel. No swivel on that ankle, but you can hinge down. As you can see there, there's going to be a tiny bit of hinge up. The foot hits the shin, so you're not going to get a whole lot of motion. There is ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet, so you can do some dynamic poses, but you know it's going to be a little limiting on that ab. But again, a dude in a metal suit, should he really be able to, you know, get that much crazy motion? Probably not, but you know, you could still make some things happen. I just think, you know, allowing for more movability is better regardless. Okay, so here I have the GamerVerse Iron Man figures all together. So this new one does a little bit of what the this was the Arctic, right? No, this was the space. This was the Arctic. I don't even remember. But the blue one, it wants to do the same thing that this one did, where the legs want to stay apart instead of going together. So you could do it like that. Oh, I guess it stays together a little bit better. But this one, I can't get the legs to stay together. They just end up going and stretching out far apart again. Whereas the other Iron Mans didn't really have that problem. So I guess it was just the blue one. But as you can see there, they all, for the most part, share a lot of the same pieces. Actually, you know what? These did have... Are those different forearm pieces? These actually had different forearm pieces. I didn't realize that. I don't know if I realized that at the time. I may have. But they share the same lower torso, and then they share the same legs and the same feet. So even then, each one does have some differences, whereas these two might actually just be the same, but just painted versions of each other. I think it may have had a different head sculpt. I am curious. We are going to pop this Tony Stark head sculpt onto this new black and gold, excuse me, Iron Man figure. One thing to note is that I did see how Tony Stark looked in the Midnight Suns games. This is not how he looked, so this would not be accurate. I'm just doing this for GamerVerse purposes. The head doesn't... pops on there. And that can work. That gives it a look. He had more of a classic comic book look to Tony Stark in the Midnight Suns game from what I can gather. But if you wanted to pop that head on there, you can. Okay, so here we have the full wave minus the Build-A-Figure, of course, and it's shaping up to be pretty good. I do like the selection of characters. Aside from the GamerVerse aspect of the Iron Man, just seems odd to me, again, because the game around a year ago, and I don't think it was super successful, so it's just a bit odd. This one doesn't seem to have like some of the little flaw things that all of the other ones have. They're like so close to being great, you know, but each one has the little thing where it's like, that's just crazy. This Iron Man figure, I would say, is actually going to have none of those problems, and may kind of be the best executed figure, if that makes sense, because it doesn't have any kind of those specific design flaws that could have been improved or could have been different, or whatever. I mean, the ab crunch would be one thing, but I mean, you could kind of fudge that. But you know, this could also be, maybe it's something that you want to get to replace the Marvel Now black and gold one. I didn't bring that figure out. That was based off an old MCU Iron Man figure that was not quite Marvel Legends. It was more of a 5-inch scale-ish than a 6-inch, and just didn't really look right. It's very undersized. I did not bring that out, but maybe this could be a good replacement for that. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this GamerVerse Midnight Suns Iron Man? What did you think of the game if you played it? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're interested in helping support the channel, hit that join button and become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.